hello. Hello, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. So, this evening, oh hi Fernanda. Welcome to being an experiencer. This evening, I am going to do the fire signs. And I will be doing some crystal scrying, and I will be doing some tarot reading, and then I'm also going to be doing sign by sign. And after I pull cards for each sign, I am going to go over to an extended video and put that up on the members section. So I don't know where I put my incense burner, but that's okay. We're just going to with the power of fire, get the space ready. And just think about all of the things throughout the course of your day that you're ready to let go. Don't need them anymore. Just want to let them float off into the ether, burned away through the elemental power of fire. The elemental power of fire. This candle is almost done. So small. But there should be just enough left for you to cast in all of your cares and fears and any extraneous things that you no longer want to carry around. Just focus on the flame and let it burn some of these things away. So for the readings this evening, I will be using the Initiatory Tarot of the Golden Dawn. I really like this deck. The symbolism is very complex. I'm still kind of getting into the hang of live streaming. As far as my consistency with my schedule. So for the time being, I'm not setting too much of a hard schedule. I will be working in the evening, and I will be working hopefully a few days out of the week. So if you see me here, then welcome. And if you see me later, welcome to the rebroadcast. I won't burn the cards, but I will get them warm because tonight we are doing fire. So first, get out the sphere, the crystal scrying sphere, and talk a little bit about the collective energies. And then I'm going to go through each of the 3 fire signs, and then I will do a big collective over in the extended reading. And that big collective is going to be all 3 of the fire sign readings together. All 3 of them. So what I'm going to do in between each reading is just simply flip the previous signs card over and put another card on top of it. We'll be doing Celtic cross spreads. What are we looking at for the collective fire energy for the upcoming weeks, days, month? Some of you who are Sagittarius sun signs might be having birthdays soon. So happy birthday to those of you to whom that applies. I've been giving a lot, but this time of year is also about receiving. You know, it's very funny because I read that book, Stations of the Sun, which I had recommended here on the community tab in a post over there, over here, over there. To me, it's all one place, but I realize it's kind of split up also. So this book, Stations of the Sun, covers a lot of the British holidays, pretty much all of the British holidays, back into antiquity, and talks about how they began and how they developed throughout time. And because of the way the feudal system works in England, a lot of these holidays were focused around people being able to go door to door and receive things. And especially widows had specific holidays where people were expected to give to widows. And then a lot of it too was based around taking care and basically like the seasonal bonuses for the staff that would be working on your estate. Now, there's a lot of focus on gratitude and the idea of giving that's been a predominant part of the rhetoric recently. But it's also important to understand where the balance point is between what you give and what you receive. It's very important to have a good balance between giving and receiving, even this time of year. And I think during the holidays, it's a lot easier to persuade others of our value to them and to equalize and even out any inequities. People are in a very generous mood, and therefore it is an excellent time of year to confront inequalities with other people. You might remember the Christmas classic, The Christmas Carol, and the miser Ebenezer Scrooge, who really didn't appreciate the people around him, and was only moved to equalize his relationship with Bob Cratchit to some degree when persuaded by frightening spirits. It's kind of a messed up situation if you think about it, because I think Bob Cratchit was his only employee, and he just didn't compensate him fairly until persuaded to do so by a higher power. That's not the only thing that we'll be talking about tonight, though, fire signs. A horse-drawn carriage, that could be mobility. That could also be mobility in social circles, social mobility, and moving from one kind of I'm sorry, I'm still getting used to the chat. Here we go. From one social circle to another. Social climbing. Be something like that. Could be an orchestrated orchestrated shift of belief systems is another thing that's coming through. And so that's going to be different for everyone, obviously. Whether that means seeing yourself as of greater value or figuring out what social circles you need to be a part of. I think these things are all coming into question this time. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the sign of Aries. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, depending on what you are curious about at this time. Alright, Aries. And soon I'll be getting some HDMI cables. And then I can use a better camera. Aries, we have some strong major arcana maidens opening your reading. That is the Star and the High Priestess. So, again, it could be something to do with social groups because we've got the Star here. The High Priestess here has to do with secrets and also to do with knowledge. So that even though you may be reaching a place of prominence, your hopes and dreams coming true this time, Aries, you could be keeping a lot of things close to your chest. You could be keeping a lot of secrets. I'm taking some general notes about the timestamps as well. In the past, we have the Strength card reversed. This is Leo's card in the deck, so you may know a Leo. You may be involved in something with a Leo. But the Strength card in the reverse in the past can be about a time when perhaps you needed to be strong. You needed to be persuasive. There's a lot of power in persuasion that is depicted in the Strength card. She has these roses clutched in her hand, such that not everything is won by strength of force. Excuse me. Sometimes it's strength of will. Sometimes it's strength of character. Whatever the situation was that's brought you to the current state. Gosh, I'm sorry. Here in the MMCLI, we have the Five of Pentacles reversed. In this particular deck, the implication is of grapes spoiling on the vine. You see these storm clouds in the background, that his crop is not worth what he had hoped, and now he's in danger of losing everything. This card's in the reverse though, so what will be preparing you for your ultimate destiny is getting out of a scarcity mindset. This is an outside point of view, and this is your point of view. So, from your point of view, the current state of affairs, you're going through a transformation. This is, of course, the Death card, but death is just a transition into the afterlife and what comes beyond. Outside point of view for you, Aries, is the Wheel of Fortune. That fortune is turning in your favor at this time, possibly because you are releasing a scarcity mindset. That's weird. Wonder why that kind of clips the audio a little bit. I'm not sure why. It doesn't seem that much louder than my voice. In the future, we have the Tower. Is it reversed? Is it upright? The Tower card, of course, is another card of great change. So, whereas you already know that this transformation is taking place, others might not see it unfolding yet. And when they do, people might freak out about it. So just be aware of that moving forward. In your hopes and fears, we have the Hermit card. The Hermit is someone who is spending a great deal of time working on their own improvement of self and spiritual development. He carries this lamp of enlightenment. He also is carrying a staff, but unlike the Ace of Wands, this staff has not been illuminated. It is not a torch. It's just a walking stick. On this particular card, the Hermit is on the beach. Sometimes he is in the mountains. I like the imagery of the Hermit going off into the mountains to go into seclusion. But this Hermit being on the beach is a reminder that all kinds of natural environments can provide you with that transcendental space in which to find yourself. This being in the hopes and fears position, it could be that you are hoping for a period of time where you can focus on your own development. Aries, the card in your midheaven or destiny position is the Justice card reversed. Now, the Justice card has to do with things being equalized, and as I mentioned in the channeled messages, it's going to be very important for you this time of year to seek equity with others. That card being in the reverse could be about an injustice, but because it's in the future, it could also be in the reverse because that situation has not yet been determined. And now we have the Eight of Swords reversed in the final outcome position, Aries. So, this person kneeling on the ground with these swords pointed at their heart. There's feelings of being trapped. There's feelings of not knowing which way to go also. This card is also in the reverse though, so it could be a freedom from not knowing which way to go. In that particular case, these two cards together make an interesting pair. That perhaps because there is an injustice of some kind, that it actually releases you from some kind of responsibility, and may even open up the possibility for you to go on a journey of self-discovery. Don't forget to stay hydrated. So, next I'm going to read for the sign of Leo. And I'm just going to flip these cards over. Because when we go over to the extended video, and I won't be putting that up live. I'll be putting it up after the live is over, just for now, because I'm getting an understanding of how I want to do things. But when we go over to the extended video, I'm going to read the cards in a collective sense. Alright, Leo. So, Leo, sun, moon, rising, Venus. Maybe you have Leo in your 10th house. You want to know about career. Maybe your North Node is in Leo and you want to know your destiny. It's really up to you how you choose to use these readings. Leo, it looks like in the current environment, you are stressed out about some kind of competition. This could be at work. It could be a competition like a race, or you might be submitting for a prize in a competition. You could be applying for jobs. These are all possibilities. But I see that you are losing sleep, possibly, or experiencing stress about this situation. Here in the past, you have the Queen of Chalices. This could be a water sign person. The Queen of Chalices is very nurturing to others, but on her own account is very closed off when it comes to what her own emotional states are. She's the kind of person who will cry in the kitchen, and then when somebody comes in, she quickly dries her eyes and says, I'm fine, and goes back to serving hors d'oeuvres at the party. This Queen of Cups could be also a water sign in your life. So you might have water energies prominently placed in your chart. This could be a water sign person with feminine tendencies. They don't need to be a woman. Water energies. While the queens are water energy, the cups are water energy. So this is a very passive but very fertile energy. It's a flowing energy. It's an energy of movement. Unlike earth energy, which does not move but for the most extreme seismic activity. In the Imam Sila here, the current state of affairs, we have the Page of Cups. So, taking a step back from that water energy, perhaps, the Princess of Chalices is also an energy of offerings being made. So this could be a job offer. It could also be an offer of a new relationship. She has this chalice up here, and inside that chalice, on this particular card, she has a baby sea turtle. On other cards, it could be a fish. Baby sea turtles are very precious. They're very difficult to come by, sea turtles are endangered and their nests are very delicate. Very delicate, very delicate. So that the offering of a baby sea turtle would be worth quite a lot indeed. From your perspective, the Three of Swords, argument, dissonance, distress. The Three of Swords implies conflict between parties. This isn't out and out war, but it can be definitely arguments and dissent. It is not the kind of conflict you see with the Five of Swords. It is more like a very personal conflict. From the outside, however, we have the Page of Pentacles, the Princess of Pentacles. So we have two offering cards down here in the current situation, such that I do think, Leo, that very soon a very good offer could be coming in for you. In the future position, we do have the Moon card. Now, the Moon card is about narrow and treacherous paths in which the way ahead is unclear. Unclear. The way ahead is unclear. We do see these yodes of flame far off in the background. And the yodes do represent the first letter in the name of God, and thus are very powerful. But in order for this lobster here, the lobster is protected in this shell, but in order for that lobster to wind all the way over here to where those yodes of power lie, it must traverse this very, very treacherous path. And again, we have the motif of the light tower and the dark tower showing us duality. In the area of your hopes and fears, we do have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is a victory, but it is a victory hard won, and it is a victory that leaves clear losers in its wake. I think we have the Three of Swords here, we have the Nine of Swords, and then leading diagonally up to that Five of Swords. There is a great deal of conflict that you perceive at this time, Leo, but I'm not certain how much of it is actually between you and other people, and how much of it is between you and yourself. After all, we do see here that things are quite unclear moving forward. You're not quite able to see what lies ahead at this time. In the midheaven position, this is the place of destiny. We have the Prince of Pentacles, and this is upright, such that this Prince of Pentacles represents money coming into you very quickly. So, the way this money will be coming to you is not clear, but it will be coming. And the final outcome is the Magician. These are all things which you have manifested using your power. All of these tools here on the table representing the implements which you have at your disposal in order to manifest the future you desire. Okay, Leo, so that is your reading for this particular cycle. Let's move on to the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius. Go ahead and try not to clip the audio, I apologize. Okay, Sagittarius. Starting out with some very interesting energies already. We have the Hanged Man, elemental water, feeling stuck, feeling stagnant, feeling like you have to make sacrifices for the betterment of those around you, even if it's to your own detriment. But this card is crossed by the universe, the world card, bringing this cycle to a close. The universe card is aligned with fixed sign energy, Sagittarius, so that's a bit foreign for you because you would be a mutable sign. In the past, we have the Two of Pentacles. This is a cycle of bringing things into balance. You can see that this hand is offering this serpent to this child, such that the child will not immediately understand how to handle that serpent safely. It takes tempering. It takes finesse and technique and the experience often that comes with age to be able to harness those energies properly and bring them into balance. Up here in the corner of the card, we do have the sun and the moon, but I like the way that the moon is illustrated here. It looks a bit like a bird in flight, almost like a dove. Down here in the Imam Silai, we have the Six of Cups in reverse. This card is urging you to leave behind nostalgia, leave behind memories of the past, as fond as they may be, and work toward what is coming in the future. The card expressing your perspective in this situation is the Seven of Cups. Your perception is that you don't have many choices available to you. That you might feel a lot of options are closed off or have too many conditions upon them to be viable for you. From the outside perspective, however, we have the very promising Nine of Pentacles. This card is about financial stability and success, lifetime achievement. This woman is able to raise these beautiful heirloom roses. Although it takes a great deal of care and expertise, it is not hard labor. You can see that she's able to accomplish this task while wearing a very fancy dress. Here in the future, we have the Empress card upright. The Empress card holding the Ankh because she gives life. This is the creative energy of gestational activities. Something that begins very small and must grow into something much larger before it can be born. The Empress is also very good for love, for those of you who are looking for love. In the hopes and fears, we have the Knight of Cups, listening to your heart. You could also be hoping that love will come in quickly. This is not necessarily an offer of love, but it can be somebody approaching you with very strong emotions. And that is in the place of the hopes and fears. Up here in the midheaven, we have the Three of Cups. Now, this woman is alone on the Three of Cups, but oftentimes the Three of Cups is depicted with a handful of maidens enjoying each other's company. You can see that she is pouring these two chalices into a larger chalice to water this beautiful blue lotus. The Three of Cups is a card about fostering the close relationships in your life, primarily friendships. The way that you cultivate your friend group. Because she is nurturing this lotus, she is pouring her emotions into something very important to her. Now, this card is in the reverse, but that can simply mean that you don't know yet who your next close group of friends is going to be. Maybe you haven't met these people yet. And the final outcome for you, Sagittarius, is the Ten of Pentacles. And again, this card is reversed, but because it is showing up in the future, in the final outcome, and because in the immediate future we do have this card of the Empress, this Ten of Pentacles speaks to an upcoming time in your life when you will have the potential for generational wealth. This is not just wealth that will last throughout your lifetime, but wealth that you will be able to pass down to the next generation as well. Alright, thank you so much for joining me for this live stream. I'm going to hop on over to the extended now, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very